There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, some remain. All these places have their moment.
It was her dream come true.
I get to brag that my brother's in movies. She told me Lily Cheese.
Love, happiness, and the bumps along the way. This is the making of a love story, the way it was meant to be. This is the story of Andy and Jenny, the true Minneapolis story. In the summer of 1978, Jeff and Mary Copson added a new cast member to their family, Jennifer Marie. The oldest of four sisters, Jenny was a precocious little girl who had no idea what life had in store.
Jenny was born in Janesville, Wisconsin, and was in the hospital about 3 days. And everything went quite smoothly, except for Jeff, of course, you drinking all the champagne that we were supposed to share.
I was thirsty. What are you gonna do?
We got home from the hospital and we all went to bed at maybe about 10:30 at night, and within 15 minutes, lo and behold, there was Jenny needing our attention.
Who would have known that just across town from Jenny's childhood home, an important part of her future was waiting?
Well, Andy's my first child. He's my only boy child, so growing up he was always very sports-minded. His ambition was to, I think, probably play some major league sport growing up. So baseball, he was a Cub Scout, so it was t-ball, then it was softball, then it was watching every sport. I think he takes after his dad in that way.
Back across town, Jenny's parents were discovering that their sweet little girl wasn't always so sweet.
One of the major instances about Jenny that I will never ever forget was one evening we did get out, believe it or not,
Well, it was hard to find a babysitter for all these
for
girls.
3 children, for 3 little girls at that time. And what happened was we got a call from the babysitter that we had to come home immediately because she was locked out of the house.
Jenny decided to have the babysitter go outside and talk on the phone because she was being a little loud while we were watching cartoons. And Jenny and Chrissy decided to tie the doors together and lock them and make grilled cheeses in the toaster, and I was in charge of making Kool-Aid.
Needless to say, we did come home immediately and found the babysitter sitting on the front steps. And here the whole neighborhood of kids was in our house, and we peeked in the kitchen window, and Jenny, of course, was directing traffic, pointing this way and that way. We had Chrissy up making Kool-Aid and Jenny telling this one to do that, and they were having a party inside.
That was Jenny's probably beginning of maybe her side of being a little devious.
Masterminding the babysitter lockout wasn't all she had up her sleeve.
During the summer, we'd be left home alone. My parents would be off working. She'd want some candy, and somehow I'd be the one going to the store, biking, by myself practically most of the time. Sometimes, Jessie would come along. She'd give us a list of candy we wanted, or she wanted, give us the money, and we'd have to go buy it, come back, give it to her. And her big incentive was she'd time us and see every time if we'd get there faster and back faster.
Things weren't always peaceful over at the Brunn household either.
We did have a fight over the Mario Brothers Nintendo game in the morning. I think it was like a Saturday or Sunday morning. We were playing in his room and I got upset about something and just scratched him down his whole back. He was like bleeding, and I think we both got grounded for a little while.
Despite normal boyhood activities like Nintendo and Cub Scouts, Andy's penchant for quirkiness developed early in his teen years.
It's kind of crazy, like kind of random about the things he obsesses about. Like him and his friends at the end of high school and college were obsessed with ostriches. So they had ostriches, like Beanie Baby ostriches in his room, and my mom got on that kick, so any ostrich thing she found, she bought for him. I think it was more of a joke than serious, but that's kind of crazy.
When it came time for college, Andy headed to the U of M in Minneapolis to fulfill his dream of attending a Big Ten school.
We were real happy that he decided to stay geographically close by going to the U.
I was excited to get him out of the house and not have to deal with him and us fighting anymore.
He knew he wanted to go to a Big Ten school. So going to the University of Minnesota was just the icing on the cake.
After he was gone, I missed him and realized that we are close and that we did have a good relationship. I didn't really ever come up much because I was in high school and cared about high school more than Andy, but
Jenny began her college career at the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, where she began attending nursing school and continued her wild ways.
One of my first memories of Jenny was we were at school and I saw her running through our dorm wearing her swim cap, and very shortly afterward I saw her running through the hall again in her Rasta hat. And so from a very early encounter in our relationship, I thought to myself, that girl is either really fun or totally insane.
Just like in her childhood years, her skills for plotting mayhem only strengthened during college.
When I got my first big assignment, my front page story about a riot that broke out on campus after a Packer game, I didn't really know who I should start talking to get a quote. So naturally, I turned to the girl who I assumed was a little bit wacky. That was Jenny.
Whether Jenny was an active participant or the riot instigator is not clear. But what is clear is what started with a quote for the paper ended up turning into years of friendship for the two girls. After graduating in 2001, Jenny moved to Minneapolis to join her friend Julie, who had already been working at a local advertising agency.
At first, I think we were really nervous about it because she was going to be so far away. But she knew she was going to be with her good friend Julie, so that wasn't going to be too much of a problem that way. I think it was more an issue for Jenny because being that far away from her family.
As Jenny adjusted to life in Minneapolis, Andy was finishing his studies at the U of M and started his career as an intern in advertising, where he came to meet Jenny's longtime friend Julie.
One of my first impressions of Andy was when we were working together at an advertising agency in Minneapolis, Russell and Herder, and he started there as an intern. He was really fun. He was very dedicated though at first, a little bit quiet. I later came to find out he was terrified of me, which now I find hilarious. But anyway, I thought he was a great guy, and I knew this kid was a little bit of fun because he instituted Hawaiian Shirt Friday, which is super weird, but also really fun. So that's really my first memory of meeting Andy.
Andy and I didn't talk too much. He was always this intern guy that sat behind me at Russell and Herder, but one day he came out with the mustache and I was like, what's with the stash? And I guess it was some beard growing contest that him and his friends had going, and I don't know, after that he was always just this weird guy that sat behind me.
As time went on and Russell Herder employees got to know each other better, an idea was born.
So there I was with two great friends, one my best friend from college, one a hilarious intern from work, and they both I knew were from Wisconsin. They both were just a riot, and I knew they both had a birthday around the middle of July, so I knew what I had to do.
And so it was. Over Dairy Queen ice cream cake, a pitcher of margaritas, some aftershock shots, a Wiggle CD, and a lottery ticket, Jenny and Andy hit it off immediately. But despite an instant chemistry, Andy and Jenny were a little quiet about sharing the news.
Well, Jenny was quite reserved about that. I think she probably didn't want us drawing any quick conclusions.
Oh, there's kind of this guy who I kind of like, and Julie knows him, and we're friends, but I like to be more than friends, but I don't see anything happening right now, but maybe a little bit.
I heard that it was her dream come true. I mean, she always was looking for someone who shared the same interests. He was tall, dark, and handsome.
he was pretty shy. Andy came home and just said, you know, I'm dating this girl, Jenny. She's a nurse.
I didn't get much out of him. It's not like I didn't try. He said she was a nurse. Nurses are hot. Maybe she had some hot nurse friends.
When Jenny was talking to me and describing, I asked her like how Andy looked. She's like, well, he's kind of tall. He's got dark hair. He's really tall because she's so short.
She always wanted someone to look up to, and Andy definitely is someone she can look up to. I think there's only about a foot difference between the two of them.
One of the reasons people described Andy as tall, dark, and handsome was his affinity for facial hair, which Jenny's family would soon discover.
We actually got to meet him for the first time. I remember very clearly. We came up to see the Twins play the Brewers, and lo and behold, this tall, handsome, dark-haired young man came along.
Beard, hairy beard. I wasn't expecting that. She told me little bit shaved.
He also had a full beard at that time, and he also had a Hawaiian shirt on, so he really stood out. We wouldn't have missed him.
He was quiet at first, and then he had a couple beers, and then he really opened up.
Told us.
And then the real Andy came out.
Sure looked like Jenny was interested, although she wouldn't say too much to us at that time.
What do you mean? The drool was running down her cheeks at that time. That's...
Shh, you're not supposed to say that.
As time went on, Andy became more and more a part of the family.
At our daughter's wedding, and I will never forget the loud Andy.
Jesse's husband Mike and Andy make an agreement that anytime one of them would be brought up in any way, shape, or form about, proposal or marriage or things like that, they'd drink a shot. So he knew something was going on.
Andy's sitting, I remember, way back in the back of the room, and it was one of those things where he's like, and Andy, and then the whole place, because Jay started going, Andy. It was like this ongoing thing all night long, being chanting, going, Andy.
By the end of the night, I know on the ride home in the limo, Andy was cheering himself on. He could barely stand up.
It would be quiet, and all of a sudden Andy would be like, Andy.
In the summer of 2006, Andy got an opportunity of a lifetime and a taste of a new lifestyle.
I called up Andy and I said, hey, I've got this opportunity to make a movie. Do you want to come along? And he was like, yeah, sure.
The movie was Conversion Van, an opportunity neither of them would have expected.
I thought we'd be setting up lights, holding some microphones, and next thing you know, Andy and I were starring in the film.
The film instantly took on a cult following, propelling Andy to a level of fame never experienced before, especially among family and friends.
I get to brag that my brother's in movies and they're on YouTube.
I never expected him to be like that in movies.
Isn't that wonderful that he's that creative?
I was kind of impressed, but hoping that he wouldn't, let it go to his head.
We gotta go save my girlfriend from a suicide cult in Minnesota.
Welcome to the first annual Bash to the Future. At midnight, we shall raise our glasses to the beyond. Keep the babes alive. Keep the babes alive.
He sent us copies and, wanted to know when we had watched them and how many other people we had showed them to and, what were their comments.
Conversion Van went on to win awards, setting Andy up for future success and bigger dreams.
Once he won the award, it was almost like an Oscar, an Emmy. It wasn't that he was bragging about it, but you always saw that little plaque somewhere when he came up. And I think he was trying to hint that, that movie career was something he was going to go for.
He did tell us that he is going to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame someday. So there will be Andrew David Brown next to maybe Marilyn Monroe or somebody like that.
Fame and fortune have fallen many a young star, and Andy's new Hollywood lifestyle seemed to have him headed in that downward spiral. Andy's newfound success had Jenny a little concerned.
I was real worried. In fact, Jenny was real worried because Jenny called us and was worried that his rise to stardom was going to maybe affect where they lived.
Andy was just fixed on certain things. The biggest was the 2.5 car garage. She's like, we're in the middle of the city. He doesn't have a workbench right now or anything, yet he wants a 2.5 car garage. She's like, so basically there's these nice houses that only have a 2-car garage. We can't get it because it doesn't have a 2.5-car garage. She's not very happy about that.
She really liked Minnesota and Minneapolis and the closeness to us. And if she had to move to California, I think she was worried.
Andy moved on to his next project, although his partying lifestyle and the name of the new film raised some eyebrows.
The other thing she was worried about too is that second movie he made, Naked Abe. I don't know. I thought she might have thought, there was some porn star potential there, things like that really could have advanced Andy's career, and she was worried about sharing him with everybody else.
Is that...
Yep, that's his Lincoln log.
But it was during the filming of Naked Abe that Andy found an inner peace and tranquility and committed himself to his life with Jenny.
He really changed after that, and I don't know what it was, but he really allowed it to be a cathartic experience.
We could go to the red carpet and clap and be proud.
To make a mountain of your life is just a choice, but I never learned enough to listen to the voice that told me always love. Hate will get you every time. Always love. Don't wait till the finish line.
On May 3rd, 2008, Andy and Jenny were married, continuing what they had started, a life of happiness, together.
Yes, dear, life will go so well. Guys need to be listened to, or they have to listen and not, be heard, because it's almost like we're little kids. You listen to the ladies talk, and know what they need, and then you respond, and life will go well.
Probably to not sweat the small stuff, and just remember that there's two sides to everything. And yes, Steve, I know you're rolling your eyes when I'm saying this, that there's two sides to everything. But, I think they've been friends for a long time. I think they're a good fit for each other. So I'm sure they'll be very happy together.
Yes, I would like to say that you always do things together, always find things that you both enjoy, and always be there for each other. And there will be the good days and the bad days, and it is a lot of work, but it's well worth it.
And that's the story of Andy and Jenny, the true Minneapolis story.
Ooh, someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top, that's where